to my channel. It's Christina at Homeschool and Grace, and today's video is a week 1 review homeschool update. Yay! We're back to homeschooling, and I'm really excited to share with you just how our first week went, what was good, what could be better, how did it go? So I've got a lot of curriculum here, like a lot. So you better buckle up, get a yummy drink, get some coffee, get some tea, this is an apple cider vinegar drink with cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, some sweetener, and like caramel flavoring. It's really good, but it looks kind of gross. That's what I will be drinking today. Okay, so if you are new here, I am homeschooling 5. I am homeschooling a 9th grader, oh boy, 5th grader, 3rd grader, 1st grader, and pre-K-er, so a lot. And we are using My Father's World as our core curriculum. As for all my kids, this is our 8th year using My Father's World. We've done preschool all the way up now to high school, 9th grade, so it's kind of exciting. So I'm going to start out with my high schooler, my 9th grader. It's a totally different experience for us doing high school and like just changing up expectations in school and what it's going to look like. So I'm really excited to share with you guys along the way how it's going. So she is doing My Father's World Ancient History and Literature. It's our 9th grade program. And really quick, let's see, how did the first week go? Let me think here. So it went pretty well our first week. You know, there's always hiccups. There's always a few tears, getting used to a new rhythm, getting back into a rhythm, just figuring it out. And so, and then because we were still in August when we started, it was that whole, you know, events were still happening. People were coming to visit. It felt still a little stressed, but I feel like now things are really calming down and we can just do school. Okay, so like I said, week 1 for Ancient History and Literature. So I'm going to just start at the top and work my way down. I will say at the bottom, I'm not going to go through much because math, she does teaching textbooks. We've been doing that now for my older kids. I think we started it last year, and it's really been helpful for them to take more responsibility in their math. So they've been doing teaching textbooks. I still use Math UC for younger kiddos. Okay, so there's that. And then science, she hasn't started yet. We aren't using, I think it's Apologia Biology that My Father's World recommends. She'll be doing a co-op program where she will be doing a forensic science class once a week, and then she'll have work with that. So that will be her science for the year. She's really excited about that. And then she's not doing a foreign language this year, but she's taking 2 other electives. She's taking a leadership class, leadership and communications class, and then a financial piece for high schoolers, I think it is, the Dave Ramsey program. So she'll be doing that. So those are her 2 other electives this year, along with everything that we're doing in here. Okay, on to what's actually in here. Okay, so for Bible, this first week was really tricky because it was a lot of like every day it seemed like there was a lot of parent-teacher like sit and have them read this with you. And so it felt like I didn't really know where to put her in the day to like work with her and then work with all my other kids and like how much does she need me and how much. So we finally figured out like if she does as much as she can independently in the morning, and then in the afternoon, like around 2 or something, I can sit with her and like help her with whatever she needs help with. So that's what we've been doing. Okay, so for Bible, she's doing the Old Testament challenge. It doesn't follow it perfectly in the book, in the teacher's manual, but it's been really going well for her, and we've been discussing at the end of the week, like I'll pick some questions and talk about, and it's brought a lot of good conversation, I think, for her doing this on her own, especially. For history, so also for Bible, she's using the Baker Illustrated Guide to the Bible. I haven't talked with her much about this, how it's going. It seems pretty basic, like just kind of, if you ask me, it's kind of like a Bible project, you know, like what is this book of the Bible about, but in a book form. That's kind of what this is. So that's what she's doing for that. Okay, for history, She's doing Not Grass, Exploring World History. And this was really about the beginning of the world and creation. And so doing that, the readings are very, in this book, I feel like perfectly at grade level for her. She's doing well with reading through this. I did recommend that she does feel out of practice doing these. Okay. The student review questions to write out, but I'm not making her write them out. We're just verbally discussing them at the end of the day. I've just found that that's a little easier for her, and I'm able to then talk if she's not understanding the concept. We can talk about it. We have the time to do this. If you don't have the time, then have them write down. Along with that is this portion here in their words. So it's original documents, speeches, poems, and stories from world history. She did 2 of these, and I ended up reading these ones to her, and then we discussed them together because some of them, they were really tricky readings, and it even says it in the teacher's manual, like if this is too hard, like read it to them, or just make sure you're discussing it with them. So we did this together and then did the review questions. She's also reading the new Answers book from Answers in Genesis. So this book has been a little trickier for her. It's like the first chapter was 25 pages, which with all her other reading, she was like, Mom, this is so much reading. But she stuck it out and did well. So then I started looking up videos online that could correspond with the chapters. And so I started using that. If the chapters seem long, then I have her watch a YouTube video. I also will tell you, I found a really cool trick on your iPhone that if you take a picture of the page, she had to help me figure this out. But if you take a picture of the page and then highlight it, and then you can push translate. So I learned this from, if you watch Herd of Turtles or My Herd of Turtles, she was talking about, and I'm like, this is going to revolutionize this book. She keeps kind of struggling with it. Anyway, so you take a picture of it and then it reads it to you, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's pretty cool. I don't exactly know if I know how to get to it specifically. My techie husband might have to show me my more techie 14-year-old. But anyway, that's another option that because there's not an audiobook, you could use that. She said that my daughter tried it out. She said didn't get all the words perfectly right, but at least she got the gist of the chapter if it's a longer chapter. It is kind of annoying because you're taking pictures and then copying the text to then have it read to you, but that is an option. Or the videos, we found videos on YouTube that correspond with the chapters, like I said, and then we also, I guess there's videos out there, DVDs you can buy, but I didn't buy them. Okay, next one. Ancient Literature Supplement. This is her grammar and composition book. And her first assignment was to write an argumentative paper, and I felt that this really explained well how to do that process. Now, I sat with her and read through the chapters so then I could explain what it's really asking, because she was still kind of struggling with the concept exactly, what are they wanting? But once we did it together and we talked about it, she was able to really refine her paper down, and so I feel like this explained it very well, the chapter, how to write this paper. Reading, they have some recommended reading for these, for the weeks. We ended up not using that because she had already been reading another book, and really I just needed her reading. So she's been finishing up the series, The False Prince, I think is what it's called. She was on the 5th book. I guess they're terrific books. If you have a teen who kind of likes, I don't know if it's a dystopian. I haven't read it. My sister read them. She loved them too. But I guess they're really fun books. Adventure and everything. Okay, so that was Ancient History and Literature for my high schooler. I felt it went pretty well. The first week, like I said, was a little tricky figuring out when she needs help, but then once she kind of figured out and got her groove, she really didn't struggle much with it. I will say she had taken some classes at this co-op the last 2 years, and so that kind of prepared her for this high school program to work independently. So that was high school. Okay, now we're going to move on to my 5th and 3rd grader. They are doing Exploring Countries and Cultures. This is my 2nd time teaching through this, and I did get the updated manual for the 3rd edition. 3rd edition from the 2nd edition. So we have that. So I'm going to start at the top and work my way down again. Explaining. Okay. Look at all my high schooler stuff out of the way. Okay, for the first week of Bible, we started with Window on the World. I think this is the newest edition. I have an older one too, but I'm not sure. They may have updated it already. But this is a really neat book, learning about different nations and countries and what they believe and religions. So, but with a Christian perspective and how to pray for them. So I like that book. We read this, God Speaks Numungang. This is a really neat book. Just a short story about a missionary story to those that are translating the Bible to a different language and just how difficult it is, but what a blessing it is to those people. And then we did do a little bit of Properties of Ecosystem for Bible on the Garden of Eden and learning about that and what it was like. And we really liked this science book. I forgot how much I like these, Answers in Genesis science books. They're really, I feel like my kids just really enjoy these. So that was for Bible. They were also memorizing John 3:16, which my oldest already had memorized. So it was just getting my younger one to have it memorized as well. For handwriting, I didn't make my oldest do anything. But I did pull this out for my my 3rd grader. It is the 1st grade printing book, but I really like how they do printing in this. And so I just had her, she's just kind of slowly working through this like a page a day. So we're going really slow. Spelling we haven't started yet. We did do some in this geography from A to Z. This for vocabulary. I ended up using, I got these at Walmart. It's for little kids, but it's where you have the picture up top and then you write down below. So I'm having them do their words in these instead of on index cards. So they have a little more space and it keeps it all in one spot. There's that. Okay, English. They are both working through language lessons today on their grade level, so grade 5 and grade 3. We're working through these, and they've been doing well with them. I really like language lessons. I can't remember what the lessons were, though. Poems and picture studies and all of that stuff. So these are always really great tools, and they like using those. Math, we're using Matthew C. for my 3rd grader, and then teaching textbooks for my 5th grader, and they're both doing well with their math. I'm happy we're, moving along well. Okay, geography. Okay, it was a lot in Classroom Atlas, and learning how to look at maps, and comparing maps and globes, and learning about the different hemispheres and everything. So they did this and did really... I found some videos to help because I feel like it was a bit of a struggle maybe. And we did the orange thing where you draw the world on a, not a orange, but a mandarin or like those cutie oranges. And then you peel it to make a map and how it doesn't fit perfectly and how the map doesn't work. And so then we watched some videos on that as well. And the stretching and stuff. I'll try and link them below if I remember, because they were helpful for explaining that. They also worked on the continent song and memorized that and made up a little, they'll do it together and sing it where they're all doing it together. So it's cute. Book basket, we read Miss Rumphius and this one, How to Make an Apple Pie and See the World. It's kind of fun to have the picture books out again. I felt like last year we didn't do as many picture books, so this year I'm really trying to bring them back because I just wasn't as good about it last year. Okay, for science, we're still doing this properties of the ecosystems, like I said, in Living World. And we just are really liking science this year. They're really excited about it. And the backyard habitat, we went to a park and like looked at different areas and ecosystems and where creatures can live. And so that was really neat. And our park had this whole like sign that was like different ecosystems, which like tied in perfectly. Like, oh, you'll see this here and this here. So anyway, that was kind of cool. I did forget to add in, so for math, it has you do fact practice. And so I wanted to show, I got these musical multiplication from Good and the Beautiful a while ago, but my kids really like these. And I found that if they hadn't memorized them, like, we'll listen to them again, or I've been encouraging them, like, they kind of get the idea of how the songs go. And so my one that plays ukulele, I'm like, why don't you make up your own songs like these for the ones that you're struggling with, and so then you're coming up with it on your own. So she hasn't fully done it, but I think it's a great idea. So if you can encourage your kids that way too, it's kind of cool. Okay. We did the John 3:16 posters. Those were fun to make, of who God loves. And they did the World of Art book and Earth from Space. Well, I think that it's upside down. I'm not sure. I think it goes this way. It looks pretty cool. I think it turned out pretty well. Well, I'll share these. So I ended up getting the Sunlight readers for my girls because I was struggling to get them reading consistently, or like they'd finish a book quicker than I could get the next one or something. So I just got these because it tells what pages, and then I have them all. So this is for my 3rd grader. It is the 1st grade reading books. I will link up here or down below. She was born with a cataract as a baby and had her lens removed. And along with that, had to have 2 sets of tubes. She had a lot of hearing issues, which led to speech therapy and a lot of struggles. And so it's caused a bit of she's kind of a delayed learner, I guess, in that way. I don't really like saying that. But instead of getting frustrated by it and trying to get her at 3rd grade reading level, I just meet her where she's at. So she is at a 1st grade reading level, and we're doing that, and she's doing great, and she's really proud of herself, and I'm really proud of her. So that is where we are at with that. So, okay, last thing I wanted to share is not this homeschool conference, but the year before, I had bought these Children of the World puzzles. So I'm excited. I bought them specifically for exploring countries and cultures because I knew I'm going to be getting back to this. I might as well get these. And so sure enough, we're back to them, and it was like $5 for these 2 huge puzzles. It's 50 interlocking pieces, and they are big. Okay, you kind of get the gist of it. I'm not sure. Here's his head. So his head goes on there. But anyway, I thought this was really cool. So it's got United States and Canada, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, China, Japan, India, Mexico, Russia on one. And then France, Bolivia, Kenya, Australia, Nigeria, Norway, Finland, Ukraine, Germany, Spain, and Mali on the other. So those are really cool. I want to share those that I got. Okay, I think that was everything. We did not use the complete book of animals. I'm not sure if we'll use it this year because my 3rd grader is doing just fine with the properties of the ecosystem. So I think we might just do that. So there you go. That is exploring countries and cultures. Alrighty. Let's move on to 1st grade. Okay, learning God's story with my 1st grader. Okay, so again, I'm going to start up at the beginning, work my way down. You'll get used to this. Okay, we started with my big book of 5-minute devotionals. This is my 4th year using this book. I have one more kiddo to do my Father's World 1st grade. It's kind of crazy. I'm really excited about that. Just using it again. She's really liking it. So that's been fun. She is my drawer extraordinaire. She loves drawing and everything. So anything with pictures, I have her draw. So, you know, we did animals. Like I showed you my big book of devotions. And for science, she did things outdoors. So I just would have her draw a picture. So she did a snail. I don't know if you can see that very well. An ant. A fishy, a worm, bugs. Okay, so we did the dirt in the jar. So this was her day 1 of the dirt, and then I had her do day 2 of the dirt. And she wanted to write that it was colorful. She found it to be colorful this time. I'll get the dirt to show you. And then a dog. I don't know if that was... I'm not sure when that was. That might be the next week here. So anyway, she had a lot of fun with that. For science, for things outdoors, we added in, are you a snail? Are you an ant? I think that was it for the books. Let me grab her dirt. Or maybe that was the next week. Now I'm thinking things outdoors. No. Got my weeks mixed up. Okay. Ignore the dirt. The dirt's for week 2. So this week was all about little creatures close to the ground. So we went outside and pulled up stuff to look at things under the ground. So that was fun for her. And just exploring and drawing snails and slugs and worms and all that stuff. She had fun with that. Okay. So she's still working. She's been working through her workbook and doing well with that. Practicing her letters. And then they do this thing where you break up the word like at. And they have to say the word quickly like cat. And then write the first sound they hear. So that's been good practice for her. I did pull out, I'm not going to get them today, the Ziggy games. The Ziggy games I used to share a long time ago with my previous first grader. They're reading games in a file folder that are, I think, terrific. And they just, my girls all love them. And so I pulled those out again for her to start playing. And I will share them in videos to come. But anyway, they're just really simple reading games from All About Reading. That's what they're from All About Reading. They don't come with the curriculum. I bought them, I think, from Rainbow Resource years ago for my first grader. So, I mean, this was 8 years ago. And they've just been really great. So, we've been using those. Along with this to practice blending words and finding consonants and vowels. So, anyway, that's been really great. This is her binder. Let's see what she did. I'm not all sure. She made another snail. She said it was a giant snail. This is her practicing her letters for her scroll. We're not going to make the scroll. We made the mini scroll, but I'm not sure where she put it. I'm not going to turn this into a scroll. She has fun just putting them in a binder, and we're just going to do that. She got into practicing writing. This is from another little book, Pigwig. She'll just find books, and she likes to just copy the words in it. I know this is not every kid. Don't think that your kid needs to be doing this, okay? It took me 4 kids to get one that does this. So this is nothing. Oh, and apparently she was drawing her rainbow. Anyway, this is just fun stuff that she was doing. I will show also for math. Okay, so she was using the Unifix cubes. I didn't grab them though. But you know what a Unifix cube is. Those little cubes. Just playing with them. And then I also am supplementing with Matthew C. She never finished the primer. We're going to call it primer. I think he calls it primer, but it looks like primer to me. Anyway, I digress. She's finishing up the kindergarten, but I like it still because it has simple addition problems like that she would be doing in first grade. So we're just finishing that up. And then I'll get her the first grade one. But I'm kind of blending between what's in the teacher's manual and then what's in this. So depending on how she's doing, we'll do this if she wants to do more, or we'll just do what's in the teacher's manual or vice versa. We're just being flexible with it. I'm not doing drawing with children this year, so. It seems like we're doing everything. Of course, like, we are eager beavers. It's the first week. We're trying to get it all accomplished. But know that, like, as the weeks progress, things might drop off here and there. We won't get every craft done. That's okay. So, I'm telling myself that. Okay. On to my pre-K-er. Whew, how long is this so far? It's getting long. Okay. Voyage of Discovery, pre-K, week 1. Okay, I love, where's this on the bottom? The Hide 'Em in Your Heart CDs by Steve Green. The first song was I Have Hidden Your Word in My Heart, that I might not sin against you. All my girls have it memorized because of this CD, that song. We have it memorized. I used to be a Puggles teacher for Awana. You might still do Awana. Our church doesn't anymore, unfortunately. But I would use these songs to help the kids memorize the verses as well, because they're great. So don't skip on that. Okay, she was learning about creation, and so I used these to teach the story. I think these are from Rebecca. These were given to me. I have a whole box of them. I think they're from Rebecca. I'm not sure. But they're really helpful for the story. Or just use like a little kid's Bible with pictures. Don't need something like this. So anyway, for day 3. What day did we get to? I don't remember. Day 4. That. So those were fun to pull out and use. Let's see here. She made her little creation poster. Whoop, and you'll see this next week as well, but obviously we've completed it. I didn't have regular cotton balls, so we had to use those big, kind of funny looking. And then there's her little moon and sun, all those things. I also pulled out this old book to use. I love this Bible Time Nursery Rhyme book. I've shared in other videos. There's a part here. Okay, Mr. Moon and Mr. Sun, and God gave us colors for all the plants he made. Oh, this was the next one. Okay. I also, to read aloud to her, I didn't have a book for light and dark, but for clouds, we read Little Cloud by Eric Carle, and we read The Cloud Book by Tommy DePaulo. These were just from my bookcase. So nothing special, okay? I have these cute little books from Scholastic, Colors in the Desert. They're science for emergent readers. If you're interested, I'll try and link them. But I really like how simple they are, because it's just like plants that are red. Okay, orange plants. So then we just say God made yellow plants. God made green plants. God made blue plants, okay? And then we did cactus names, because it was like funny cactus names. So like, God made the teddy bear cactus. God made the barrel cactus. So we used that. And then I had evergreens, always green. Again, what it looks like in spring. And fruit grows. You know, God made the seasons. So anyway, those were fun ones to use. And then we used Anne Rockwell, Our Stars, for the sun and the moon and the stars. This is a nice simple little book on the sun and the moon and the stars. So there you go. I liked that one. What else? Okay, we looked outside. We looked at, oh, you know what? We did do one for day 1. Let me grab it. We did a child's garden of verses for day 1. So this is by Robert Louis Stevenson. Oh, what page is it? And we did My Shadow. We read this a lot through the years with all my kids, but so I pulled out that because I was like, oh yeah, we were looking at shadows. And we have this. I know there's a shadow poem. So we did that. Okay. We read also The Sailor Dog, 1001 Animals to Spot. Now, I think it's a different title. I think Big Book of Things to Spot. We had this book, that book. I don't know where she took it. She was looking at it and now it's poof. But I had this one, which has a lot of the pictures still, so I used this one for this time. This one we read a lot by Margaret Wise Brown. Just a cute little story. And then the educational toys are always fun to do, and I try and always do them. She remembers, you know, All Aboard the Animal Train, doing surprise time, and so she's like, is this my surprise time? And I'm like, yeah, it is. So she's been happy with that. I think we got through all the books. So that was Voyage of Discovery for my pre-K. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for you, just to see how our week 1 went. We obviously did a lot in 1 week. I mean, once you pull it all together, you're like, wow, I did a lot this week. So I hope that this was encouraging, that like you can do this too. If I can do this, you can do this. Okay? So just make a plan, and I know you can get it done. And if you can't get it done, don't beat yourself up. There's always next week. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you at the next video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.